right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on which part of the world you are located in. My name is Nick Mason. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders here at Turtl, and welcome to our webinar for today, the 25th of November, which is titled Upload, Relax, Publish, How Turtl AI Will Transform Your Content Creation. So you've got me for about 30 minutes. I'm going to run you through some really exciting, I think at least, updates that we've got planned for the platform and where these are going to go in the future. So I'm going to be doing that in just a minute. A couple of housekeeping bits. This webinar will be available on catch up. So if you have to duck out halfway, don't worry. You can watch it later. And if there's bits that are particularly interesting, you can also catch up on those and remind yourself what they were. In terms of questions, it would be great. Please do answer them as we go through, but I'm going to handle them all at the end because otherwise the multitasking is a little bit too much for me, and we don't want to see me struggle. Without any further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen and taking you through some of the exciting topics that we have for this afternoon. Okay, so here we have introducing content AI. And this is the topic that we're going to be running through, as I say, new AI functionality that we have that we're bringing to the platform. To preempt the groans, yes, we are going to be talking about AI. I'm sorry, it is another chat about AI. I'm sure that we've all had more of our fill of AI chats over the last 12, 18 months than we can stomach. But I'm going to make a promise, a guess, a guarantee. Can I go as far as a guarantee? Let's see, that you won't have seen anything like this before. This is not your regular AI. There's some really cool stuff that I'm about to show. And so, yeah, let's dive in. But yeah, more AI, I'm afraid. So when we think about AI at Turtl, and frankly, when we think about anything, we like to think about what if. We like to think about the potential for change yeah. Oh, hang on one moment. Yeah, on the right one. Sorry. Potential to change how technology can update and change and improve the world around us. And so we wanted 4 key things about AI, which are listed out on this page, but I'm going to go through them very quickly. So the first one is, what if AI could help us design content? So we're used to AI being able to create text for us and maybe generate images in some cases, but why can't it also learn design while staying on brand and being mindful of the types of layouts that we use as a content team, as a business, and really accelerate that process? The second one we wanted is about images. If you're like me, you'll have experienced the pain of spending many minutes or in some cases hours trying to find the perfect image to complement a piece of text or to illustrate the point that you're trying to make. And what if AI could help us circumvent and search a ton of images or potentially even generate images rather than make us go through that extensive brand library or stock image search? What if AI could solve that for us? Thirdly, what if AI could help to translate content for us? So many businesses that we work with are global. They need not just an English or a native language version, but they also need it translated into many of the European languages and beyond. So how can AI help us get multi-language assets faster than ever before? And lastly, but not leastly, how about personalization? So in many cases where people are using our personalization module, there's a lot of setup to go through, a lot of thinking before a document can be personalized at scale. What if AI could reduce the amount of time that we spend configuring our docs with tokens and forms so that we can get started with personalization much quicker and with much lower effort? So here are the 4 things that we wondered about. We're going to be stepping through these one by one, and I'm going to be doing some white knuckle live demos, which you can imagine I'm really thrilled about. I love taking my life into my own hands. So the first question that we asked is, what if AI could help us design content? That was the first one on the previous page. What if we could get to a place where you could drop in raw text, upload a PDF, and get back designed on-brand interactive documents, which are ready for a quick tweak before they get published? And we're going to have a look at exactly how this works today in Turtl. So I've moved over tabs, and hopefully the screen recording software has kept up to date. We're looking at a document now, the future of account-based marketing with artificial intelligence. Now, if I go to the next page, you're going to see that what's happened here is I've just pasted in a load of text about the future with ABM. And so you know how your content team will come up with an idea, they'll generate the copy, they send it over, and then what you've got to do is spend time pulling that together into sort of brand consistent, brand compliant layouts that you can tweak and get to the final stage so that you can hit publish. And a lot of time goes into that initial effort of getting this thing up and off the ground so that it can be tweaked and finalized. Well, what we can do with Turtl Content AI is we can click this new button here, which is the Content AI panel. And what this provides me with is a new set of options over on the left-hand side. And we're going to start with design. So when I click on design, I get this selector here for page layouts. And what this does is this picks either a curated list, or it can pick from all of your content that you've created, and it's going to harvest templates and principles for design that have been established across all of the content that you've created. And what this is going to serve as is inspiration for the AI, because AI is going to be involved here in case you haven't picked that up, inspiration for the AI when it comes to designing and laying out your content for you. So we've got a bank of layouts there that we just saw. There were about, what, half a dozen in there in this example, but there could be many, many more. And all I need to do is pick the particular pieces of inspiration that I want, come down here and click Build with AI. Now, this is the white knuckle bit where we get to see what's going to happen. But what is happening in the background is that AI is looking at those templates. It's understanding the key elements of design that are in them. And it's comparing that with the text that I've provided on the right-hand side here. And all being well, AI will come back having learned from the types of layouts that we're interested in, and it will have flowed the text into those in a smart, intelligent way, adapting the templates, there we go, adapting the templates as necessary in order to fit the text. So here we have the future of ABM with AI, and you can see that it's laid out all the different text that we had there in a way which is brand compliant. It matches the templates that I showed before. Now, this can get really sophisticated. You can have lots of different elements going on here. The templates can adapt. You can obviously have all the polls and the videos that you're used to, but this shows the concept, which is taking that base level of text that we showed before and streaming it using AI into a fully designed version of the content, which, as I say, is ready for tweaking and publishing. So that's really cool, I think, and can save a huge amount of time. You imagine how quick it will be to create a document, given that all of the design elements can be learned and processed by AI in order to get you to the finished product quicker. So that's the first thing that I wanted to show, which is this concept of brand compliant AI content design. But obviously we can go further than that because there were 4 questions that we had down here for today. The second one then is brand approved generative media. And this was this point that we came to around generative AI helping us to find and maybe even create the right images, because we all know how long it can take to source brilliant imagery for our documents. So I'm going to flip back to the example now. Hopefully the screen share is keeping up. I'll just check, because that would be a disaster. It has kept up, good. And AI actually has helped me here. So thank you, AI, because what it's done is it's picked the same image twice. So you can see here, it's selected this image and this image here. And it's done this, by the way, by looking at historic images that we've uploaded. For whatever reason, it felt that this image was a particularly good fit. But obviously, we don't want to use the same image twice. So what I'd normally do is I'd come in here, I'd choose replace image, and I'd go and hunt for something, right? But we're going to do it different this time, because under library now, I have this new AI training mode. I'm going to turn this on. And what I'm going to do is build a model. So I could call this Turtl Photos. And then what I'm going to do is go through my library. I'm going to pick, and we recommend picking between about 20 and 30 seems to give the best results, representative images of my brand, right? And when I'm done picking, I click Train AI Model. I'm not going to do that right now because it takes about 20 minutes to train the model. But when that training has happened, I can now come into Content AI Images and I can prompt AI to generate me an image. So we're talking about ABM. So I'm going to say, a group of marketers standing around a whiteboard with lots of colored sticky notes, drinking coffee, because everyone needs coffee. And then I can pick the AI model. So we've got 3 here that we've trained. One is our photo style, and then we've got 2 different icon styles. I'm going to click Turtl Photos, and I'm going to go for the second white knuckle live product demo. I'm going to click Generate Images with AI. And so what's going to happen in the background is that the model that we trained earlier in preparation for this demo is going to go and take that prompt. it's going to go and take everything that it's learned about the images that we uploaded in terms of their style, their use of color, their use of people within them. If there's sort of a grayscale theme or a particular color tint to the images, it will factor that in. And it's going to come back to me, hopefully, with 4 different images that meet the requirements of my prompt. And you'll be able to use this anywhere in the app that you can currently upload an image today. And as I said, you can use it for photos, you can use it for icons. We're trying to extend it so that it can be used for diagrams, although obviously that's a little bit trickier. And it should really mean that all of your media finding and generation gets way easier. The other thing that we're going to be doing here is automatically tagging. Here we go. We'll have a look at these in just a second. It's going to be automatically tagging all of the media in your library with keywords. And we're doing that by having AI look at each image and tag what it sees. And what that means is that not only will AI be able to return generated images like we're seeing here, it will also be able to return best matches from your library. So that if you don't need to generate an image for a particular prompt or a particular page, you can say, oh, I've generated you 4, but by the way, here are 2 which are really good matches from your actual library. So that's very cool. So anyway, we've got 4 images that have been returned here. It really nailed the brief on coffee. Like there's multiple people who are double parked here with coffee, never seen that before. Yeah, it's hit the brief pretty well. I quite like this one. So I'm going to zoom back out. Actually, I like the top one. I like the double coffees. So there we go. So I can pick that and that gets dropped in. So there you go. Imagine how much time that saves in terms of getting brilliant on-brand images for your brand or for your asset, which you can drop straight in. And I think that this is now really looking pretty good. So a couple of tweaks and I can probably get that off and I can hit publish. So that's the second item that we had to look at today, brand approved generative media. And as I say, within there as well, we're also going to be recommending existing media from your library that maybe is a good fit for the topic that you are trying to find an image for. So that's the second item. What if AI could help us find the right images? The third topic then is about translations now. As I said, many of the businesses that we work with are global or have multi-language requirements. And I've seen processes here at some very large businesses that can take upwards of 2 months to go and get an asset translated into another language. And this creates real problems because if you're trying to drive a new product into market or you're trying to make critical updates to existing materials, that can be a real bottleneck in terms of speed of execution, but also just in terms of the intensive time that's required to manage a relatively simple, I hesitate to say, process like translation. And so we have a solution here as well. So flipping back to our nice example document here, I'm going to go and explore the other side of this, which is the content side. So I click on this and you'll see that I've got a new interface. I've got some canned prompts, which we're going to look at. I also have a free prompt box. And something that I should have said before, by the way, is that all of this can be applied either to just the current page that you're looking at, and that goes for the images and the layout as well, or the current page group, or actually you can apply any of the stuff that I'm showing today to the entire document all in one go. I'm going to stick to the current page because it's a little bit quicker to do just one page rather than 20. But we've got some canned prompts here. So I can choose translate to Spanish, for example. And what that's going to do is it's going to populate this prompt box with the canned prompt. And you can see I've got other ones up here. But once I'm happy with that prompt, it could be Spanish, could be French, could be anything. I'm just going to, again, click Build with AI. And what's going to happen is we're going to go away and extract the text on this page. We're going to pass it through AI translation. And then we're going to pass it back through the same design flowing system. There you go. That was very quick. That we used originally in order to get the template in place in the first place. And you can see now, I have to confess, I don't speak Spanish, but hopefully a Spanish speaker can confirm this is a very good translation of the original document that we had in English. And so you imagine taking a document which is like 30, 40 pages, being able to just set this to entire document, clicking translate to Spanish, then doing French, then doing German, whatever you need, and being able to get a very high quality, you may wish to tweak it still, but a very high quality translated version to work from. And the other thing on top of this that's really cool is that we're going to support custom prompt modifications. So what I mean by that is if you've got particular language that must always be adhered to or must never be used in particular language translations, as we know happens, that intelligence can be automatically prompted and trained into the model for you so that your translations respect your house style, in the same way that your images and designs will. So that's not in there yet, but that will be getting added. And so what we're seeing here is a very quick, efficient, and high quality way to translate your documents into as many languages as you need. So there we go. Coming back here, that's translations at scale. And as I say, I've seen some businesses where this is a multi-month process. So we're really excited to see the types of efficiency gains that we can drive for our customers here. Lastly, but not leastly, personalization. So personalization is just being used as an example here. But there are many cases where we need to modify operationalized content for a different purpose than it was originally intended. So what happens with personalization, if you're familiar with our module, is that typically there'll be an asset that's been created. And then we decide as marketers that we want to personalize this, to go and use this for an ABM campaign or to drive into top accounts or something similar. And you then have to go and think back through that document and think, okay, crikey, how are we going to personalize this? What tokens are we going to use? Where are we going to place them? And that can be quite a long and time-intensive process. And so the fourth and final thing that I want to show today is how this can work. I'm going to reverse out of this Spanish translation just so that I can read the text again. And you'll notice that we've got another canned prompt here, which is personalized text. And what this does is fill the prompt box with a predefined prompt, which is going to help me with my job of personalizing. And again, we'll just do it for this page, but we could do it for the whole document, of personalizing this piece of content so that it's got the right tokens and fields in for us to go and start to run through Turtl's personalization system. So again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick current page in the interest of time and click build with AI. And the AI is going to go through and look for opportunities to personalize this piece of content and actually go and drop in the required tokens. That was a really quick one. Into the content itself. So you can see here, it's included an industry tag in the title. So rather than being the future of ABM with AI, this is going to be the future of, let's say, technology with AI. And obviously I can go and I can modify that to say the future of ABM in industry with AI. And it's also added in things like company name and personas it tends to do, and all of these sorts of things. So it's very cool. The other thing that you could also do is you could come in here and you could extend this to say, use the following tokens only. And so if you've already got in your CRM, let's say, a list of tokens, a list of facts that you know about all of the accounts that you're going to be going out to, you can very easily just prompt AI and it will go and look through. You're going to want to make tweaks and changes, of course you are, but you're going to be able to go in and get those tokens flowed through the document in a sensible way very quickly. So that can save a huge amount of time. You'll notice there are other canned prompts here. And inspiration prompts that we've got that you could leverage. But those are the two, the translation and personalization, that we wanted to show as samples for today. So there we go. That's the personalization launchpad. And hopefully you can imagine how other workflows can be improved and streamlined by getting AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting that typically needs to be done in order to take an asset and operationalize it for a different use case. So there we go. Those are the 4 items that we spoke through. We spoke about what if AI could help us with layout and design. Hopefully I showed that at the start, where AI learns from all of the different templates that perhaps we've created in the past, all of the different pieces of content, and then goes and creates a new piece based on words that we uploaded. We looked at image sourcing. We looked at image generation with that Gen AI, with the different models that we built. We looked at translation and how that could be done really quickly. And we also looked at other workflow type processes like personalization, configuring a document so that it's ready to be personalized and distributed. 4 things to mimic the 4 what ifs, 4 things that I thought people might be wondering at the end of this. Number 1, can I get on the beta? If there's stuff in there that you think looks exciting and interesting, we'd love to have you as part of the beta. It's a 2-month pilot and it's free of charge. There is a link here to sign up. I have a link that you can copy on the next page and a QR code. I believe that there is also a call to action in the webinar platform experience, which you can hopefully see within your webinar tools somewhere on the right-hand side, I think. So that's the beta, 2-month pilot free of charge. What's available, frankly, is everything that I just showed. So the layout piece, the translations, the media generation and personalization, everything that we looked at is going to be included in that beta. A very common question, a very valid question when it comes to AI is around data safety. And there's a note here just to confirm that all of your data is limited to training just your bespoke Turtl Content AI models. So it doesn't get shared anywhere else. No other model or service will ever access it. And so what you put in is only used for your purposes. So data safety we've taken, as you can imagine, very seriously, and everything is properly hived off into the correct spaces. And then finally, in terms of a full release ETA, the product team, the engineering team are working really hard on these features. They're moving incredibly quickly. Current view is late January for a full production rollout. So look forward to that. Obviously, those dates can shift and change. They can go forward, they can go backward, but we're currently thinking late January. So in terms of getting on the beta, here is the link that I promised. You can go to bit.ly/Turtl AI. You will be greeted with a landing page where you can register interest in joining the beta. And I've also got here a nice QR code that you can scan with your phone if you prefer to sign up that way. As I said as well, there is also a link in the webinar UI, I believe. So I'll leave that on for just a second so people can scan or type or do whatever they want to do. But many ways to join the beta. Okay. That takes us to the end of the time that we have today, or at least the presentation. But I do just want to say this is just the beginning. And hopefully you've noticed and seen the improvements that we've made with Editor 2.0 that was released back, I think, at the start of October now, seems like forever ago. A lot of those improvements to Editor 2.0 were necessary in order to make these AI advancements possible. But this is, again, just another stepping stone. We've got some really exciting stuff coming down the pipe, which I can't talk too much about now. But hopefully we're going to do another one of these webinars which builds on a lot of the stuff that I showed today and takes it up to a whole new level. So please do, if you found this interesting, which I hope you did, please do watch out for the next one of these, because there's even bigger stuff coming down the pipe, but more to come in the fullness of time. So that takes us to the end of the presentation today. Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully a ton of value in there. Hopefully a lot of excitement for some of those features. Hopefully people are thinking about signing up for the beta. We'd love to have you involved. I'm going to hop over now and have a look to see if there's been any questions or comments or thoughts that I can answer. I think we've got about 8 minutes to make that happen. So I will hop off this and I will just jump over here to look at questions. Okay, great. We've got a few. So a couple of questions coming in here. The first one, how customizable is the AI output? Can users adjust tone, style, or specific terminology to fit their brand voice? Absolutely. So you can do that in one of two ways. As I mentioned, we're going to have stock predefined prompt modifiers per brand, per customer. So what that means is that you can define upfront any text that gets run through our AI in order to be modified, translated, personalized, whatever the case may be. Always bear in mind these rules. And those rules can be things like always capitalize this sort of thing, always use, I don't know, the Oxford comma, never use whatever, so that you can make sure that all of your brand terminology and your house style is accurately reflected in the output text. So you're going to have that. The other thing that you can do is when we looked at that prompt box, you can type pretty much whatever you want in there. So if you were getting a translation back that didn't seem quite right, or if you wanted to shorten the text and make it more playful, you can just type in there exactly what you want, and AI will go and do its best to suit your needs. So the AI output is incredibly customizable. The tone, the style, the terminology, all of that can be done either at prompt time or ahead of time with a global setting. So hopefully that answers that question. The second one that we have is, does the AI tool provide suggestions for SEO optimization or engagement strategies for the generated content? So again, that's a great question. At the moment, the way that it works is you could ask the AI, we haven't tried it yet, to go and optimize a particular page or document to hit particular keywords. We are also looking at a queryable AI interface where it doesn't modify the content, but it actually just allows you to ask questions before it goes and modifies. And so that could be useful here. And I've lost the question now. Oh, and engagement strategies. Yeah, watch this space. Some very exciting opportunities there that we're looking at. So that is definitely something to tune in for next time. But again, great question, seeing how we can extend the AI capabilities. Last question that I think that I can see is, what measures are in place to ensure the accuracy and quality of the generated content? Is there a review process? Well, the review process, I think, is you. the way that AI has been described, which I like best, is to treat it like a very enthusiastic but somewhat inexperienced intern. And we hope to make that better over time and make the intern grow and suddenly become more powerful. But at the moment, we still recommend that you check, you read through the content, you make sure that you're happy with it, because fundamentally, you've got to be happy with it before it goes out the door. What we're really looking to do here is speed up, find productivity gains, find time saves, help and connect you with the content that you need to achieve your objectives faster, quicker, and with less pain. But fundamentally, we still suggest to customers and users that you check what has been done before it goes out the door, which I think is just good practice in all cases. So those were the questions, unless anyone wants to sneak a final one in under the door. I think that we are running to the end here. So I'll just say thank you once again to everyone for listening and for joining this session. A reminder that if you want to join the beta, it's bit.ly/Turtl AI, no spaces or hyphens in that second bit. And this will be available on recording if you want to catch up with any of the stuff, and also for those links and QR codes. But other than that, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you're as excited about those updates as we are, and I'll wish you a very pleasant rest of your afternoon or morning, depending on where you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you very much for now. Goodbye.